This is Reality Dispatch by Jim Minns.
Justice Thomas relieved himself and walked over to the basin to wash his hands. He extended this cleansing to his face and drenched his cheeks and forehead in warm water. When he was done, he stood to face the mirror but did not look himself in the eye. He was torn between an interpretation he was bound to by precedent and his belief that the interests of justice required a different path. He exited the common bathrooms and was confronted by his clerk. "Judge, the deadline must be met by 3 this afternoon," he said. "I am aware of my obligations," the justice replied in a stern voice. He walked back to his chambers with doubt in his heart. As he sat down at his oak desk, surrounded by images of presidents both past and current, shaking hands with his relatives, his pride was replaced by dread that the laws he was bound to interpret were flawed and were not going to unscramble. For the first time in a long time, the justice was troubled. He read over the opposing counsel's closing remarks in the case once more before continuing his written judgment. He read the points aloud in the privacy of his leather-bound, wood-smelling sanctuary. The weapon was retrieved by police officers at the scene, and these same officers are now subject to severe burns and radiation infections that will accompany them for the remainder of their days. The justice retrieved a glass of brandy that he had left before his trip to the bathroom and swigged. The damage inflicted by a single pull on the trigger of the handheld nuclear weapon can dispose of a half-acre of a city block and infect the area with radiation of a half-life in excess of 10,000 years. There are reports from some authorities that as many as 20 or 30 of these handheld weapons are on the streets of the United States right now, all of them unaccounted for. The justice held the glass to his mouth, attempting to drain the drops. Nothing would soothe his agony. His interpretation, indeed the interpretation of the majority of the full bench, was to support the accessibility of weapons in the defense of the nation, as per the right to bear arms. These interpretations did not, however, cater to the rapid acceleration in technological advancements when it comes to weaponry. Handheld nuclear pistols were a new reality that the Founding Fathers had not braced themselves for. When guns fired bullets, these decisions were easier. Now they fired nation-obliterating isotopes, and the question needs to be reevaluated. But the bench wouldn't move, and the judge would not be the one to buck the trend. He returned to his keyboard and wondered if he would be damning the nation with the click-clack of his typing.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimminns.substack.com.